Hey everyone, hope everybody's doing good. Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. So, I wanted to jump on here for a few seconds, few minutes, and I wanted to talk to you about the importance of inflation right now. I've been through this before. See those gray hairs? I got a lot of wisdom in those gray hairs. And I'm not nervous about what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. The bubble's going to pop. But anyways, it blew my mind because a while back ago, the wife ended up trying to get some Milwaukee batteries and some of these guys right here. And I remember her telling me, she went to this big warehouse that we have that's a big vendor of ours here in town. And she said that she couldn't get them. She said, and they have no idea when they're going to get restock. So she had to buy a kit, which it came with one like this, like a bigger battery, and then like a smaller battery. And she said I couldn't buy them individually. And I'm like, really? And she goes, yeah. She goes, worst part is they couldn't tell me when they're coming in. So now I just had to buy, because I still got some of the old DeWalt 18 volts, which, just a helpful little tip, if you didn't know this, which it's all relevant, because the 20 volts are better. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna deny that, but they say supposedly a 20 volt max, the reason they call it a 24 volt max is because it's when it's fully charged, it's 20 volts. They say supposedly when these are fully charged too, these are 20 volts. Just a rumor I had. Like I said, I'm not going to deny anybody that says that the 20 volts are better, because they do run better. But for some reason, I always still like these ones, because these ones seem like the cold doesn't seem to bother them as much as some of these newer ones. The newer ones are getting better, it seems like. But anyways, I'm getting off. So this guy right here, this old school 18 volt, the XRP, I think it is. Yeah, these XRPs. You know, these things are what, 15, almost 20 years old. I don't know the exact date when they came out with these, but they're old. They're old. They're old power tools that I got. And these things are like this battery right here, to find this thing. And if you know how it is, you search on the old interweb. I'm an eBay fan myself. So on eBay though, you can find a lot of aftermarket knockoff brands, but they're not the genuine DeWalt ones. I don't screw around with the aftermarket. I've had them before and the clips don't work and you can't get them out of the gun and they die prematurely. I want the genuine DeWalt batteries. But when I went to check out, it was just a little bit over $100 for these old school batteries. I'm like, oh my gosh, it just shows you. And I had to go to the third or fourth page just to find it. You know what I mean? Scrolling through it, and I could tell they're the knockoffs. They try to act like they're the right ones, and they're not. This one's actually a genuine one. It's the only one I could find, so I bought it. I just thought, crap, I'm on the third page. I better buy it, otherwise somebody else will. And so it's nuts out there, guys. It's just absolutely nuts. The batteries are getting crazy. And so I guess what I'm trying to get at here a little bit is that I've been through this before, and I don't want you to get caught up. I don't want you to get caught up in this hype, right? I don't want you to get just in this perpetual motion, and I don't want you to get caught up in, oh my gosh, there's so much work to do, and oh my gosh, what do am I going to do all this work, and I need to hire 20 more guys, and oh, there's nobody to work, you know, and all this stuff. Don't do that. Do what you can. Don't stress. Pick and choose. Choose the customers that are going to respect you. Choose the customers that are going to understand you. Choose the customers that are willing to pay the money. It doesn't have to be that you're ripping them off. It's that they will pay the money that you're worth. And that's up to you. Everybody's worth something. You know what I mean? Let's go for a ride. So everybody's worth is different. And it's a mindset. It's a mindset up here that you have to control, that you need to learn how to tell it no and yes. But you're worth something, you know what I mean? With all these crazy prices, I think it's really hard for people to understand the worth. I know I've had problems with it, and I don't want you to have problems with it. And I also want you to understand that I don't want you to get caught with working for builders. Builders are notorious for this. I was very lucky back in the the 06, 08, whatever you want to call it, era, that I didn't get caught in that. I knew a lot of garage door companies in my area. There was probably 3 or 4 of them that went out of business because they were so heavily into builders that the builders went under. And guess what? They weren't collecting a check from every job. They were doing this 30, 60, 90 days, whatever, perpetual motion, and they got screwed big time. I don't want you to do that. I don't want us to do that because that's stupid. You need to pay now when the job's complete, especially in residential. Residential can eat up a lot of resources. There's not as much money built into residential typically. Commercial, not saying they can't bite you either, but they're typically more established. They know that if they basically don't pay their bill, that we're not coming back again, and then the doors are going to be stuck in a position that they're not going to like. So, but my big thing is right now is you just gotta enjoy the fresh air. You gotta enjoy the sunshine. You really can't get caught in this whole hype going on right now. Things are way overinflated. They probably will come down. I don't know when. I'm predicting middle of the if I had to say, I'd say the middle of the year, middle of summer to fall is just my guess, because stuff is going rampant right now. I mean, stuff is way overheated. And I can feel it. I can feel it out there. I can feel people are getting exhausted. I can feel people are just kind of going, you know what, forget it. I've talked to numerous of people. I talked to a lady today that wanted to get her kitchen redone. She's called 3 contractors. None of them showed up. And they were good contractors. And she said, the thing is, I don't care about the price. She said, I just want somebody to do it. And I believe her. She runs a $1 million company, multi-million-dollar company, actually. And, you know, went to my vendors today, and the loop sealant that we use was damaged in shipping. And it was like picking through the garbage, looking for scraps. That's really what it felt like, because they didn't have that much. And they were like, you sure you just don't want to take one case? And I'm like, no, I really want to, because I know what's going to happen. And we don't use a lot of it, but I want to have it for like a Saturday or an emergency situation. Because there's things that just pop up and we have to run and do it. And if it's not replenished, it will be a problem. So just remember, prices are going up, and it doesn't mean that you have to be stuck in this mindset of selling for the same price. And the biggest thing is loyal customers. You know, if you got loyal customers, oh, it makes life so much better. I was just talking to a guy the other day, and we were talking about how a customer ran us through the ringers a little bit on something. And, you know, I look at it like right now, like it has to be a good fit. Everything needs to be a good fit. If it's not going to be a good fit, just call it right then, right? Just like a relationship. If it's not going to be a good fit, let's just call it now. Let's not spend 10, 20, 50 years of our life and try to go through this miserably. Let's just call it quits right now when it's on the fifth date, right? This isn't going to work out, you know? So I'd rather people do that right from the get-go. If they have a gut instinct where they go, this doesn't feel right, the customer doesn't sound right, maybe on the phone, maybe they're talking to me in a rude fashion, you don't need to deal with that right now. You really don't. There's so much work out there right now. It's unbelievable. The problem is, are they willing to pay? That's the problem. And you got to understand, you're not going to win them all. And that's fine, because you don't want to be the trunk slammer, you don't want to be on the high end, you know what I mean? And you want to be kind of in between or towards the high. You don't want to be doing this, you know, I'll do it for $50, you know what I mean? Because it normally burns you. It always does. And then if you're like me, you got payroll, you got expenses, you got overhead. It's just no fun. You just, I mean, think about that. I got to buy a battery. And here's the thing. So I buy that battery, right? And I'm talking to myself on this. I go to a job, right? So I do these multiple jobs. I go to multiple customers, right? The more customers, the more money I make. Oh, I'm going to be rich. Well, the problem is, now I leave that power tool. Let's say I leave that battery now and the charger at the job site. I go to multiple other jobs. I still run through the day. And then all of a sudden I go, oh my gosh, I forgot it. And they lock the door. They went on vacation. They don't answer their phone. They say, oh no, it wasn't here. They seen it. Maybe they took it. Those are all liabilities. I've had it personally happen. I've lost ladders. I've lost power tools. I've been in car accidents. These things happen. And right now, times are worse than the 06 and the 08 crash because we're dealing with emotional and we're dealing with supplies shortages. So like right now, my tire guy was saying all the major tires for him, like he can't get. So if that van is out running more, wearing out tires, guess what? We might not be able to get tires for it, and we don't know when. My van just was in the shop. It was had a bunch of brake work and front end work. You know, it was over $2,000. $2,000. That's a lot of money. And I have to remind myself though, every time I go somewhere and I push that brake and I push that gas, it's costing money. So the longer the trip, and if the customer's not paying for it, that trip and the extra time and all that, I mean, it's like right now, guys. Look, it's Friday. It's a beautiful day, right? You know, I'm literally cleaning out my van still. I'm charging batteries right now, so my van's ready to go for the workday, for whatever comes up. I'm probably going to actually hang some gates tomorrow on Saturday, and I don't mind. That job was padded enough that it's a good job. But what I'm getting at is there's so much stuff behind the scenes that you're not accounting for that you need to account for. Unloading the truck, the damage of sections, the hauling of sections. The longer it's in the truck, the longer it's in the shop, the more chances for somebody to pull a tool off the shelf and now the door gets damaged. These are all liabilities. You know what I mean? So you need to mitigate as much liability as you can. Then you'll make better profit. You'll not be as exhausted. You'll be much more happier because you can come home and you know you made some money that day versus feeling like you just ran yourself into the ground. You look at a truck that you're going, man, the tires are shot in it now. Oh my gosh, you know, I lost that ladder. Now I got to go back to the store. And then now you're going to be disappointed because you're going to go to the store and they're going to go, oh, we've been out of ladders for a week or two. And you're going, oh my gosh, now how am I need my ladder. I must have my ladder. My ladder is what gets me up to what I need to do to service. And now you're gonna be bummed because you're gonna, you know, and you're gonna go, that's the person that talked me down $20. That if you would have made $20 for out of the 6 of those service calls that you would have done, you know, think of it, do the math. You would have made more money. You might not feel so bad about, oh well, you know, at least I got paid what I was worth, and it happens, it is what it is. But I guarantee, if you're sitting there undercutting yourself, eventually it'll be to your demise. I promise you. So right now times are very challenging, very challenging. Material, I mean, we can't even schedule right now. We just can't schedule. It's like you just wait for something to show up. Something shows up, and okay, this is what we'll do today. Oh wait, before we do something today, let's go through and make sure everything's here for it. And sometimes it's not. Maybe it's missing a window section. Maybe it's missing weather seal. And it's like, oh, well, you know. And I mean, most of that stuff we can kind of make up. I mean, except for like window sections. But like weather seal, yeah, we got a little bit. But I still remember a guy telling me, he goes, this truck forgot the weather seal. And this is like the 3rd time. And he goes, oh, that's no big deal. He goes, we got some. And I'm like, it's going to be a big deal because we're not going to have some. So luckily we have a surplus of it right now, but eventually we're going to lose that surplus. All these things you got to think about. All these things that add up. So, and that's the big thing is every customer adds up somewhere. And you better make sure it's adding up in your piggy bank. Take care, guys. See you on the next one.